in very, very narrow ways. So when I put it to you, does a doctor really believe that he needs to be aware of how so many of the other roles that he has in his life affect or come into play when they are interacting with the patient? One wonders whether medical education ever prepares a doctor in this way. Is this ever a part of medical education or training that we look at not just what are called hardcore medical subjects, but also what about a question like, do we need more super specialty hospitals or do we need to pay attention to our primary health centers? What does India need more? How many medical colleges or courses really look at questions such as these? So the more you compartmentalize, the more you shrink yourself actually. You keep shrinking yourself and saying, this is all that I will look at. And the more you do that, the less you express of yourself. And you keep doing this for 5-10 years. And at some point, you have reduced yourself and your capacity as a human being to respond to what is in front of you. And we do not realize that this is happening to us because the systems around us encourage this shrinking and this limiting and this compartmentalizing. And that is because this all goes way back to our training. It's not just something that is wrong within medical education. It is something that is happening all around us. From the time a child is in 8th standard and either that child decides or the parents decide because of pressures from family and the rest of society that he needs to go into medicine. From that time, he wears blinkers, cannot look at anything else, no joy in his life, no lightness in his life, no music, no chatting with friends, no TV, no playing. And we expect this child to grow up to be a full human being, a complete human being, who at the end of 10 years of medical education, which also is no better, where he learns to be tough, not cry. You see suffering, don't feel anything. After this, can you just switch on a button and become a compassionate doctor? So there is something wrong with the way that we train. And this is not only in medical education, it happens in all our classrooms. So in all our relationships, I work with school teachers a lot. And I ask them, do you worry about being too friendly with your students? Yes, because they will take advantage. So most of our relationships are founded on fear. And so to be human in a relationship, to be able to fully express yourself is hard for people. I mean, this is something that we accept. And the second point that I wish to make is actually an extension from this. Yeah, so I just want to add one more thing. From yesterday's workshop, this struck me when I speak about this compartmentalizing and years of this kind of dehumanizes you, shrinks you. 2 people from the workshop shared with me that it affects your personal life, really. This kind of training and this kind of professional performance also has an impact, damaging impact on a doctor's personal life. Something to worry about, something to think about. The second point also comes to me from something that one of the students yesterday said. She said they were portraying different kinds of struggles that they face as medical professionals. And at the end of it, it looked like it's impossible. All these challenges are insurmountable. And she said, do you think that change is possible? And I said yes, instantly. And the reason I said yes is because I know doctors personally who have made changes happen. There are doctors who are exemplary by who they are and how they are, who are as teachers role models and who inspire. And I know this doctor who, there is no other word for him, I call him a rock star, who has made changes to a system single-handedly, and who advocates, and who's an activist. He's not just a doctor, he's an activist. And he fights and campaigns and advocates. Now these are people who have refused to very narrowly define the boundaries of their profession, who have broken the boundaries, and who believe in being complete human beings and in just doing what they believe needs to be done. We are living in times where all the conversation around us is deeply polarizing. People are telling you, if you are not my friend, you're my enemy. If you're not with me, you're against me. So we are living in times which encourage us to think in terms of us and them. A teacher versus student, doctor versus patient, junior versus senior. Everywhere there is hierarchy, and we are encouraged to think of these relationships in adversarial fashion, as if they are enemies. And I think what we need today is really focus on building human relationships, on breaking these boundaries and saying that if there is a problem in the healthcare system, it's not a problem of the medical community alone. It is a problem of all of us. All of us are affected by it, and therefore all of us need to address that together. So what is deeply satisfying to me about this award is that it is a recognition of the need for all of us to work together. I'm the first non-medical person to receive this award, and therefore I'm saying this. It is important for us to work together because the goal is the same. The goal is to build a community of care. Thank you once again.